What's up, everyone? It's Michelle Angelique, spiritual boxer, formerly known as Truth and Integrity Warrior. Actually, that's the only way you can find me on YouTube. It will pick me up as spiritual boxer. This is my new abode. It's my new place. I've been moving and finally settled in. Well, not finally settled in. I still got stuff in the car that I haven't unpacked. Just moved in. And this is where I'm going to start doing my videos, where I'm going to show you guys on my Patreon how I prepare food. And everything is done like under 30 minutes because we got fast lives, we have no time, we're always in a rush, but the food I make powers us up. You know, it gets us ready, steady, so that we're good to go all day. And still, when we come home, we still got work to get done. You know, it's not over when we're done working. There are slave jobs that we hate going to. Well, me anyways, right? So, before I get started, talking about what was missed on last week's video, they had no audio, like after the 8-minute mark. Wait, let me begin. Let me get this started correctly. Today is Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. Very important. I like all of my videos to be time-stamped so that we can see a progression, you know, a steady change, progress, very important. I don't want shit to be random and disorganized. Last week I did a live video, and after 8 minutes there was no sound because I was trying to remove somebody was on there saying nonsense, right? And what ends up happening, I end up pushing a button. It's a hide, you know, I was just trying to hide that, it said something about hide something, right? But instead, all of the volume goes away, and I don't notice it until the end of the video, the live stream after an hour, because I swipe up to see if anybody said anything, and everybody said they can't hear nothing. There's no volume. So all of that information, trash. I gotta start over. You know what I'm gonna do today? Hi to who gave me a heart. I can't read from here what that says. Is I'm not going to read any comments. So anything anybody puts, it's all going to be amongst you guys. Because I can't see from here, you know, and I don't want to keep having to put my face up on the screen. Once I get my visual audio little table going on where I can have a place to sit down and can do these lives, meaning not my Patreon, where I'm uploading videos from right here, right? I'm going to make a little corner in my room so that I can do my live streams and I can interact with you guys. So today I won't be interacting. It'll just be you guys amongst yourselves. But hi to all of you that are with me right now. Last week, it was very intense, the information that I gave out. And it was so intense that I recognized why now that got moved out. It was for my own safety. For those of you who follow me and watch my content, you know that I talk about that we're in a machine and there's creature kind that work against mankind. There's alien entity mentality that lives off of pain and suffering of any kind, but I talk about mankind, right? This machine lives off of pain and suffering, which is called quantum annealing for these AI D-wave machines that power themselves on the lowest point of vibration. And that low point, when they hit that low point, boom, it powers itself up. And this big machine, it powers itself off of feeding off our pain and suffering. So the information I give comes from that viewpoint on. It's not an all organic channel where I'm looking for the healthiest and the best. I'm looking for how we're going to survive under any circumstance, under any condition, under living homeless, sleeping on the concrete, eating out of whatever is available as far as a Dollar Tree, a Dollar General, and I'm speaking from personal experience. How are we going to be able to eat where we don't drop our immune system? That's our line of defense to protect our system, to protect our body from breakdown. Because that's what I live off of, a diet that is closest that you guys can get to my diet is called an AIP diet. Autoimmune protocol. For anybody who wants to understand what kind of diet I follow, it's autoimmune protocol. It keeps your immune system up. The difference is I cook within 30 minutes. I make it easy, fast and effective, and nutrient dense. My focus is getting those nutrients in so that the body builds up. And if we don't drop our immune system and we build the body up with supplementation, we need to add supplementation because there's not enough nutrients in the soil to get to the food to get to our body. So it's those two dynamics. We don't drop the immune system so the body can then fix itself, regenerate itself, get stronger, better, faster, and younger. And I speak from experience. For those of you who don't know, I'm in my 50s. I don't have enough money to do plastic surgery, to get lip injections, to get facial stuff done. I don't have the money. The experiences that I have from my past, you can see I don't have the money to do that shit. To lie to you, to tell you that do this when I'm really doing that. I don't lie. It's against my code. I'll be silent before I fucking lie to somebody. I'll just be silent because I can't fucking tell you. You hear what I'm saying? If you ask for the truth and I can't tell you the truth because it'll fucking hurt or break you, I'll just keep my mouth shut and be silent. So I speak from personal experience, the stuff I'm going to share with you because I lived an experience, right? And from those experiences that I've had from the past or up to my present, because I have experiences every week. My life is a movie, and if anybody is buying me, they can see that movie play out because I have interaction with awareness, put it like that. It's not interaction, it's the wrong words to say. It's hard for me to say this, right? It's hard for me to say this, but it's where my life is going, and I gotta get used to it. Let me see if anybody's saying that they can't hear me. I don't want to waste my time and not talking like last time, right? No. Somebody, it looks like it's Russian. Give me some fire, some heart. I don't know the rest, but all right. Can everybody hear me? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Just say that you can hear me. I don't see anybody saying you can't hear me. I just don't want what happened last week to happen this week. This thing is not moving anywhere. There's only one person talking, and I'm assuming you can hear me. So, I can connect with Michael. Those of you who know Archangel Michael, I explain on this channel that Michael is a sentient interface put into this reality, into this machine for the benefit and help of mankind, to help us through the experiences we got, because we ain't got no chance against being in a machine and not knowing that we're in one, and how it works against the goodwill of anything that embodies the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is whole, balance, completeness, right? It's something that holds love that this machine is void of. It is void of love. So it takes to have, because it can't generate it like we do, like mankind can. Even animal kind knows how to generate love, but there's species out there of animals, they eat their own young, and they're mixed with the biology and the genetics of man to make this creature kind that works against mankind within this machine. And this machine has multitudes of realities. Everything is very fucking real. Nothing is fake. Not one individual is fake. So I'm not coming from this non-important, non-player, whatever bullshit that I hear online, people saying that they're not real. Everything is real. If you know pain, you know this reality is very real. So all of that said is because what I said last week and was cut off, not because I pushed to silence, hide an individual. You can't turn off the volume when it's hide an individual, right? All the volume was gone because I identified location, I called out names, places, religions, which is all of them, so don't think I'm picking one, right? It's all of them. But I got real specific. Because I had enough, right? I've had enough. But recognizing that that volume got cut off is, I can't say it on this open line right here on YouTube. So my next step in this understanding of this way, I don't want to go this way in my life, but this is where I'm going in my life. I didn't dream of doing and talking about what I'm talking about, but this is just how things have played out, right? And so now I have to structure it as I go, as I see things happening, as things unfold in front of me. Like, I don't even know what my future is. I can see into the future, but I don't know my future. That's some shit. Because if I could see it, I'd fucking run the other way. I have not done it. From go, right? From go. Well, it turned around. All right. I communicate with Michael and I went into it deep. Before my last week's video, I had gone into what is like data mining, right? I can mine data, I can mine information very deep, but it's not because I go to look for it. It's because I'm taking there. And so I have to, like a card game of charades, I have to be able to recognize what I'm seeing and then ask questions about what I'm seeing so that I can get some type of resolve, right? Because I'm not told what something is like other people because they're being misguided and misled by the opposition. We got an opposition playing like good guys, like all of our religions playing like good guys, but they're the opposition to mankind. I speak loud and I speak strong because I want to make sure it's heard. Where I'm going with this is when I go into these moments of communication, of understanding where I'm being led to know what I'm to be working with out here, right? My next steps. It's not like other people who say they got all this information and then they're going to come relay it. I have a whole past history of my life where certain things happen, where I had to collect that information and put it in my bag of what the fuck just happened. Like, what the fuck? It's my what the fuck bag. That bag, I've collected things throughout my childhood, my teenagehood, my young adulthood. To one day I'm going to know what this means because it's going to connect to something. And now that we have computers and all this data, all this information moving everywhere, I know that what I experienced is very real because it was before the computer age. So I have to pull that information from that data, from what I'm seeing with Michael, and then the data and information that we have online, and I have to triangulate what I'm understanding so that I can identify what I'm seeing. This shit ain't random, is what I'm saying. This didn't just like fall in my lap and I don't know what's going on. I've had psychic ability since I was a little kid, like many of y'all have, and many of y'all just scrub it off. I get it, totally get it. But we're in a day and age where we gotta be ready, stay ready, and recognize how the enemy works so that at least this right here, this vehicle, this temple is working at full capacity, optimally, functionally, because we are being broken down to dysfunction in our mentality, our physicality, our communication, our thought processes. It's all nutritional deficiencies. And that's what last week video was to talk about, the Tongkat Ali and the connection with the receptors picking up the testosterone that we already have in our body, even if it's low. Even if our testosterone is low, the problem that we have is we're not picking up what we have. And so it's either overloading, right? And women are growing all this facial hair because they got too much testosterone floating in their blood because it's not going to the receptors. And where are these receptors? Well, that's the information I was going to talk about, well, that I spoke about, but nobody could hear, was we have testosterone receptors are called androgen receptors. That's how it's spoken about. That's its technical term. And while everybody's talking about testosterone, more testosterone, nobody's saying, wait, let's check what's going on with the receptors that pick up what we already got. We need to be talking about that. And one of my subscribers, her name's Rachel Scott, from one of my past testosterone Tongkat Ali videos that I did, she said, I remember Tony Pantalleresco in one of his videos, he talked about testosterone in the heart, which nobody talks about. But I had forgotten about that video because it was so long ago. But she remembered, and she reminded me, and I went and I looked it up, and I'm going to post it on here, Tony's video, when he talks about it. And the way he talks about it is that the heart is loaded with, absorbs testosterone, uses testosterone. So I'm looking that up in Google, and I can't find a fucking thing. And I know Tony don't lie. I know Tony is on his shit, and he's very anti this machine in the body, and he breaks it down in the body, right? It's called nanobiotechnology. For those of you who don't know, it's in the food system. We're eating it, and there's no avoiding it except for helping your body move it out, and he's the man for that information. That's who I learned from. He's also an herbalist and ex-bodybuilder, so he got some knowledge, he got some experience. He's a go-to man for knowing about how this advanced technology works in the body and how it duplicates and replicates and can morph into anything. I've seen it with my own eyeballs. I know it's factual. You can see it on videos if you look at biotechnology and how it can morph into any structure, right? With broadcasted signals being sent to it. Meaning, no touching it, you can just send a signal and that thing morphs into form. I've seen it do things to my body that looks like it comes from a movie. I've taken fast pictures of when I've gotten it, of when I've seen it, lift up in my skin and create patterns and forms. I'm saying all of this stuff so it doesn't sound crazy, because the shit is crazy, right? But so that it makes sense on why I'm going down this route and why I'm not afraid to do it, why I'm so adamant about making sure it gets done, so that we change from the narrative that we're being given. We're being told, hey, check out testosterone, has to do with man's balls, man's health. You know, you want a hairy face, big old burly hair, then you better avoid testosterone. Well, that's what I think as a female, right? I don't want no testosterone. I don't want that shit. I ain't got no balls on the outside, and I don't want no hair showing up in here, you know? That's my thinking of testosterone. Why do I have that? Because we all got that. We're all entrained to hear it repetitively, like from people like Huberman, right? They keep us on the narrative. That narrative got to keep us over here so we ain't looking over here. Well, in my 2 past videos, I'll post them, I should say, my videos that I did, because I did 3, only one of them had no sound. But the ones that had sound, and I'm talking about fatigue, chronic fatigue, and testosterone, right, and what's going on in my experience, I'm going to post those 2 videos so that you can look back at them and see why I'm saying what I'm saying. Is testosterone is not just for man's health, it's mankind's structure, stability, functionality. It is the base root of our species, yet we're not being directed to pay attention to the heart and its necessity for testosterone uptake. not just testosterone, but it needs to be uptaken by these receptors. Underneath our skin, we have these receptors. On our brain, we got these testosterone receptors. Are you feeling what I'm saying? We don't hear no narrative on, let's talk about the importance of testosterone to maintain strong functioning health, well-being for men and for women. Why aren't we talking about that? Why isn't it the narrative? We don't need it to be talked about in small little increments where we gotta catch it and see it and see if we notice it. It needs to be primary for me as a woman to know that testosterone is my functionality for myself and my children, male or female. Yes, it diverts, it changes in the amount of testosterone. That's what makes us different between men and women in estrogen and testosterone. I get it. That's not the question. We know this shit, right? We know this shit, but we don't know the importance of the heart, the brain, maintaining youth, because it has to do with the skin. And this is what I'm gonna tell you, testimonies that made me look to see. The first one was Tony Pantalleresco saying that the heart needs testosterone. I was like, what? I've never heard that ever. And when I heard it a long time ago, I wasn't paying no attention when I heard it from Tony, because I was worried about this tech cutting through my skin. I was bleeding from my face, my arms, my legs. I was bleeding everywhere. My attention was not on all the words that Tony says, because he says a lot. He has a lot of data. We're going back to that video. I'm looking and I can't find a goddamn thing on Google for testosterone in the heart, because it's not making a connection in the Google search. So I went androgen receptors and testosterone. Oof, a ton of information. Because it's testosterone going into the receptors. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I forgot to put in the search, I put the heart. Testosterone, androgen receptors, the heart, and testosterone. Keywords, right? Keywords. That's where I got the information. That's where I got the connectivity. As far as connecting androgen receptors to the heart, then to the testosterone, then to this called Tongkat Ali that helps the receptors pick up the testosterone. Even if it's low, it picks it up so it goes where it needs to go. I got testimonies from people. I got my own testimony, which is good enough for me, right? I don't need other people's testimony to say why this is phenomenal for chronic fatigue. You have to watch my other videos. My other videos on testosterone, this Tongkat Ali. I'm going to tell you what my boss said, Rachel Scott said, one of my old friends, Ann, who just started taking it. And if you don't know mine, it was about fatigue. But at the same time, when I'm taking this, my fatigue goes away in 20 minutes, which was chronic for a month, and I couldn't function. My operations just fucking quit. My thinking, everything was down and out. And if anybody knows me and sees my videos, that's not me. I am never down and out. I'm always pushing. Like it's a miracle. It's amazing the shit I can do and continuously do it. And then I go to turn myself off. My off button got switched. It was lack of testosterone, which is explained in those other videos. What I'm showing you right here is, this is loose powder Tongkat Ali extract. It's Chinese, the Asian herb, right? This is 500 milligrams. It comes with this little, I'm gonna put it on my black shirt right here. It comes with this little scooper. It's 500 milligrams, a little scooper. Then I got these, and these right here, these capsules I can take because it doesn't drop my immune system. They're not made with a capsule or ingredients that'll drop the immune system. I've checked them, I've tried them, they're good to go. I'll put a link to both of these in this video. This powder, let me show you the pill, and then let me show you the extract, which are two different colors. That Tongkat Ali, I put it in here, so I have it ready to go in the morning for my use, right? The color is different. See that? The pill, this extract, this is extract, and this just says Tongkat Ali. They're different in color, meaning it's different. I don't know if it's different because the root is different. I don't know if it's different because this is extract, meaning more potent, and this is less potent because it's not an extract. I don't know. I haven't had time because of everything that I do to call up and do some research, right? I like calling companies and asking those direct questions. My point of this is, this, when I take it, in my other videos, I tell you that I feel like a bull, like I'm ready to go in the boxing ring. I used to be an ex-professional boxer. I stopped recently in November 2024. But when I was taking that, I felt like I'm next to get into that ring. Nobody's stopping me. Nobody's going before me. Meaning my level of, I don't want to call it aggression, because it's not aggression what we do in the sport of boxing, right? In the sport of boxing, it's not aggression. It's, I'm fucking ready to go in a different kind of way that I don't usually feel when I'm sparring or boxing. So I noticed there's a difference in my mentality just by taking this, right? In my fight game. That's a big detail. When I started taking this capsule, which each capsule is 425 milligrams, and remember these right here, 500 milligrams. Huberman takes 400 milligrams a day. Dr. Huberman, you look him up, he takes Tongkat Ali. Everybody averages between 200 400 milligrams. I'll tell you what I'm actually taking later on. What I brought it down to, I do 100 milligrams a day now, just for maintenance, because I'm no longer in fatigue, because I'm no longer waking up at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go to my shift, because I got my shift changed, right? Got my shift changed. God, thank you very much, because that's such a big deal to get back to normal. Meaning sleep deprivation between 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning will mess up your uptake of your receptors getting your testosterone, and after a month's time, you're going to see a chronic fatigue problem. There's a shit ton of studies on it. For people who work graveyard shift, got low testosterone, period. It's because they're not uptaking it. There's a disruption in the circadian rhythm, our natural way of sleeping, and if that's disrupted, we ain't picking up testosterone correctly. So I started taking the Tongkat Ali, boom, 20 minutes, big difference. Told my boss about it. He saw my physical change. I showed him what I got. My boss does everything I do. He's copying me step by step. He goes, where's your vitamins? He takes my vitamin D. He takes the vitamin Bs. He's now taking, I gave him some of my minerals. I make my own complex of minerals with zinc, with potassium, with selenium. It's a good one. It's the best that I know, not just because I make it. I got it Tony Pantalleresco verified long time ago. My point is, my boss is like, I'm ordering it right now. He started taking this one, right? And in less than a week's time, he tells me, Michelle, I gotta tell you what I noticed, right? And I didn't know he was gonna tell me this. He said, I don't have no more joint pain. And I was like, joint pain, right? I'm not even, there's no way I'm thinking joint pain has anything to do with this. Because he had already been taking this, right? And he didn't tell me about his joint pain. He started taking this in his, you know, he has a regimen of what he takes. He separates them and he knows when to take what. I help him with that. He started taking this in a week's time. He says, Michelle, I don't have no more joint pain. He goes, and now I'm ready to start lightening things up so I can start now going to the gym. He goes, now he's starting to feel his motivation to go back to the gym, which he could have went to the gym anytime he wanted, but he didn't feel. That's the thing is, we feel. We mankind, we feel. It's part of our mood. It's how we do things. It's how we function. And the depletion of nutrients and uptaking nutrients where they gotta go fuck up how we feel and how we think and how we do and how we operate, how we function. We become dysfunctional is my point. So when he tells me he don't have no more joint pain, I go and I look up. I gotta go do some research. with joint pain, right? Like, I gotta see how does joint pain, Tongkat Ali, testosterone, how do these connect? And I found this research study that I'm gonna post on here for you guys. Is review on a traditional herbal medicine, Eurycoma longifolia jack. That's its technical name for Tongkat Ali. Its traditional uses, chemistry, evidence-based pharmacology, and toxicology. That's the research study. And in that research study, you can read it for yourself, but I'm just going to go over a little quick briefing so you can understand how I was able then to connect the Tongkat Ali with his joint pain, right? Because it's not something I ever talked about, ever. That picking up the testosterone alleviates excessive pain. That's what's going on. Because our pain receptors get dulled if they don't have testosterone. Isn't that something? Now, Rachel Scott, one of my subscribers, she starts sending me a bunch of ChatGPT data, what she's finding in this direction, right? She hears the videos, and we do a lot of talking back and forth offline, and she sends me some data where she finds that if we're not getting testosterone, our level of pain increases, like joint pain. And in Rachel's situation, Rachel Scott, she said she started taking this Tongkat Ali, and I kid you not, she had sciatic nerve pain for over 2 years, and she said it's gone now. It's like that. Now, you don't have to believe it. That's not my goal, is to make anybody believe anything. This is folk medicine. You know what folk medicine means? Folk medicine means like, that's what the folks say. That's what the people say, but that's not what we medicine say. Well, I go with what the folk say because I'm a folk. I'm a person, and I recognize the change. Now, what we're always told is, well, we don't have any research on it, so we don't know. We fucking know. We know. The Chinese have been using Tongkat Ali for over 2,000 years. They know. They got some research on it. Look in that direction. So for the folk medicine, right, known to Asia, or the Asian people, it helps with aging. Before I go down this list, I gotta tell you, because I almost forgot. When I started taking this one, I noticed that right here, around my eyes, filled in. Why can I say that? Because I'm gonna be 52 this October, right? I'm gonna be 52 this October, 2025. And I noticed my aging started when I was like 42, 43 years old. Everything just started dropping, right? Well, because I am how I am, I know that something's missing. An amino acid's missing. This is just what I do, right? And so I've been able to regenerate myself by adding what's missing. Like fixing an old classic car. Put in what it used to have. Ooh, it looks brand new. It's like that. It's simple, right? I say it's simple because we're made to believe it's fucking complicated, and it's not. It's just put back the nutrients that we're missing. So when I take this, I recognize that now I have fullness in my eyelids. So I now go research aging. I'm looking up aging and testosterone, right? Because I recognize that it's on the heart, the skin, and the brain. So if it's in the skin, what's going on right here? How did this shit change? When I look up the folk medicine in this research study, first thing it has on there is aging. And I get it because I see it. And it's the testosterone receptors that's under our skin that need the testosterone to maintain youth. That's why the young are functional and look young. And we deplete and get older and we rot. We rot and we're told there's nothing we can do, but we're being led by fucking creature kind. Of course we're going to be told that. This folk medicine of this Tongkat Ali for 2,000 years, aging, works against malaria, cancer, diabetes, anxieties, aches. In my boss's joint pain, right? Aches. Constipation, exercise recovery, fever, increased strength, stress, glandular swelling. We're going to talk about that towards the end, um, because there's a connection with testosterone and the lack of it, and prostate gland, prostate cancer, breast cancer. All these cancers are the glands are swelling up because they're being loaded with estrogen. We're being fed estrogen on crazy levels in our gums, in our toothpaste, in our deodorant, our mouthwash, like it's everywhere, right? And when we're being loaded with it, it's missing iodine. Our glands are missing iodine and they need it. So if it's missing iodine, it's going to pick up the estrogen, right? And I learned that one from Tony a long time ago. So if that's happening, we're missing iodine. And I have an iodine story that I'll get back to. And iodine has to do with the gland, which is the thyroid gland, which has to do with our testosterone, right, and our estrogen. So it's very important that we get all these things interconnected and balanced right. First thing to do is work on the diet. It's always primary. AIP diet, autoimmune protocol. Later on, I'll show you how to make that shit sexy, because it ain't sexy. It ain't fucking sexy. No bread, no grains, no pasta. I show you how I eat bread and how I eat pasta that doesn't drop the immune system. This is a long-lived experience, and I've been doing it for a long time. And this is how I maintain. It's my food. My food is my protein. My food is my bodybuilding, right? I don't drink any protein brand. I'm gonna show you how I make a bread that stimulates muscle growth, right? It's what the Aztecs you see. But I'm gonna show you guys that, like I've talked about in my other videos. I don't want to get off subject, but I'm gonna show you how you take an AIP diet and you make it fucking sexy. That's what I'm gonna show you. And make it work fast. Sexual dysfunction. This is what this Tongkat Ali helps with, because it helps the heart. You help the heart, you help the pump, you flow the blood, you get strong in all the right places, right? You get strong in all the right places, if you know what I'm saying, without me having to say it. It raises the flag. It gets shit working correctly. It needs blood flow. So, that's that for this Tongkat Ali. Well, it's not that. And old friend of mine, she just got this brand right here of the Tongkat Ali. She's taking one a day, and she noticed that she has an increase in her appetite, which is actually part of this list that has a whole lot of other things in that research. This research paper that I'm telling you, I just read you a couple things. It got a much longer list, and increased appetite is one of those things. Did Ann know? No, she didn't. Did I tell her? No. Does she know about this research study? No. She just told me that's what she noticed, because she had a lack of appetite for a long time, and all of a sudden she has an appetite. Tongkat Ali. Rachel Scott. I was telling you that let me give her story better, that she had sciatic pain for 2 years, and now all of a sudden taking the Tongkat Ali is gone because of the pain receptors, right? It is sensitive to pain, and then you put enough testosterone where it's supposed to go through the receptors in the correct locations, all of a sudden there's no pain and there's proper functionality. This is just one of the other things that I take. This is not just a one thing fixes all, because we have bombardment of toxicity beating our ass down from all kinds of ways, through our water, through our air, through our food, through the artificial lights that we got beaming on our cells, sending toxic information to our cells. We got a lot of things working against us, so we need to have an arsenal working for us, and I make that part of my food lifestyle, my supplement lifestyle, and I'm going to show you guys how I put that together in this kitchen right here. I finally got a nice kitchen. Oh my gosh, I love this kitchen. I got it specifically because it got a nice little background, a nice big long table, and I'm going to be able to whoop it up. I'm going to get me a little gas stove right here, because it's an electric stove. Cooking on electric is not the same as cooking on gas. The temperature, I have no control over the temperature on an electric stove. So doing it on a gas stove right here in front of you guys, bada bing, bada boom. Show you how to cook for yourself and your family, because we got to be able to feed our kids as well. We're like this, you know, we're up in the morning, we got to make sure our kids have their food and ready to walk out that door, ready, locked, and loaded. I make my daughter a sandwich. She ain't and I make it in the morning. She ain't hungry until 5 o'clock p.m. because the amaranth raises your leptin levels, which is a hormone which cuts your hunger hormone, right? So we go all day without eating until we eat another meal later, and that saves a whole lot of money. For I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, because we're being loaded with toxicity in the food called glyphosate, and with the immune system down, that glyphosate goes in, and one of the problems that it causes is it turns on our hunger hormone called ghrelin, and it makes us hungry all day, even after we just finish eating. That shit gets really fucking expensive. It's not just bad for your health, it's bad for your wallet. And then when you got all your kids on their ghrelin levels up and you gotta feed them all constantly, that shit'll wear you out as a parent. So that's what my Patreon's gonna be about, is how to do it economically, on a budget, and fast. And it should gotta taste good, or I don't make it if it ain't delicious. My kids let me know, Mom, this is a go, this is a no-go, this is a go, this is a no-go. Because my mouth has a high tolerance for strong things, in my mouth, and I can handle a lot of things that other people can't tolerate. So I gotta make sure my kids are just like, okay, this is good, Mama. Mama, no, I ain't nobody gonna eat this one, Mama. I gotta tell them different. I'm like, this is great to me. They're like, no, Mom, it ain't great. So it gets kid verified, right? My kids love it. I know that I can pass it on to you guys. So that's at Tongkat Ali. I know that in my post that I gave you guys, I said we're going to go through the Tongkat Ali and testosterone, which we just did right now, the iodine deficiency and the cancerous glands that we have, and then the mental health issues that we got with folic acid, and how it's causing mental health issues, and we don't even fucking know it. Like, I just found this shit out maybe 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and in finding this information, oh, no, not 3 weeks ago, what am I talking about? I get so much data all the time. I think it was about a week ago. It was a week ago, because I didn't know it till after the video that had no volume, right? The video had no volume, wasn't gonna have this information. It was after the fact. When I found this shit out about folic acid, right? Folic acid is not folate. Folate is natural to nature. It's in the food. It's supposed to go in our body. It helps our B12 then function, and then we got our brain working right, and we feel right, and we do right. But B12 don't work without folate. And when I found out by this human biologist, right? This guy is claimed to be a human biologist. He has a YouTube channel. It's Ultimate Human Podcast. His name is Gary Brecka. Now, this guy spit out some data that when I heard this shit and I put this stuff together as far as how we're being broken down mentally, right? So that psychologically we're being broken down, so that we dysfunction in our families. And when you have a broken family, you have an easier way to take that next generation and turn them over into whatever you want. Turn them over into whatever you want. Meaning, we got a species against our species, and this is my point. This is my direction. Other people have fear of saying it because they're not sure. I'm fucking very sure. Seen that shit with my own eyeballs. I lived this experience. It looks like the whole of my life. I was born to know what I know and see what I see and seen, so that I can put this shit together and we can move this forward. We need to move forward with a different attitude, because everybody's talking about how we can get better, how we can better. I'm talking like a general to his soldiers, how we got to organize our shit. This is fucking mandatory. I ain't asking. I'm telling what needs to get done and how to do it, so that we can organize a one size fits all, so that we can then copy and fucking go under any condition and circumstance. Meaning, some of us don't have no car access. Some of us got no bus access. And we have to walk to get our food. And I was one of those people, while being homeless, sleeping on the concrete. And working. So, I've never been a bum. in my mentality or in my actions. Because there's people who work and those motherfuckers are still bums. They got a fucking bum mentality. I ain't never been one of those people. So I'm working 40 hours, sleeping on this concrete, not in my car, because I didn't have one. Lived in a town called Scranton, Pennsylvania, whose bus system ends at 6:30 p.m. and I'm out of work at 5 p.m. All I can do is hurry up and get to my location so that I can take a shower, hurry up, catch a shuttle to get back to my safe spot where I can sleep. Behind the warehouse that I was working at, right? How am I gonna go get food? So I gotta go to the Dollar Tree or the Dollar General or the little liquor store. I have to make this shit happen because I'm not changing my food lifestyle because of my circumstances, because this tech, if I drop my immune system, this tech cuts up my skin, my face, my arms, my legs. I bleed for weeks. I can't afford to eat something that has a high lectin protein that drops the immune system for 8 hours. I can't afford that. The AIP diet doesn't allow the immune system to drop because they avoid high lectin protein, not high lectin proteins. We're talking the highest degree. It's called it's the highest. It should be called the highest lectin protein is what they avoid, and it's in nightshades, pasteurized cow dairy, and legumes. Those are your three categories they avoid, and those are the three categories I avoid. And I show how to do it fast by buying products that don't have it in the mix, because they put it in the mix, meaning it's in the ingredient mix and it's slipping by us. We think we're eating chicken, but we're actually eating a chicken that has corn, rice, wheat in the spices, in the oil. Are you feeling me? The nightshades are in oils, right? The nightshades are nightshade seed oils. Not all oils, just the nightshade variety kind, which are the ones that are all lined up in the grocery stores to make sure that we stay fucked up. Not only is our immune system dropping, and then all toxicity can break us down, or we have psychological, physical, mental, and emotional problems, right? Not just that, it blocks testosterone. Look that up. These nightshade seed oils block the receptors for testosterone uptake. There's no fucking surprise that our shelves and our aisles are lined up with this shit and everything's cooked with it. There's no surprise. You want to break down a species and take over its kind, change it, mutate it, you break them down fucking slowly where they don't even pay attention where it's coming from. Well, we've paid attention, and there's enough data and science to prove it. So now it's about getting fucking ready and staying steady like a lifestyle. Like a fucking lifestyle. You are the movie, this is the movie, we're in the movie, and your shit gotta be ready. I don't know how else to say it. I'm gonna put the information of that video where you hear him say that folic acid is man-made and doesn't exist in nature anywhere. Now let me tell you why it's such a big fucking deal. Because they're putting that in our pastas, this folic acid. They're putting it in our nutritional yeast for the healthy people, right? They're slipping this folic acid in the food system, in the breads, right? In the pastas, in the grains. Let me tell you what happens. If half of the population has this mutated gene, which we ain't got a fucking mutated gene. The people don't got a mutated gene. We got a fucking toxicity put on the people, and half of the population is reacting in a psychological fucking breakdown. They have behavioral issues. They don't have a mutated gene. They have a fuckery on them that the body can't fucking take, which they shouldn't take because it's not natural to nature. And he's the first person I finally heard a professional say folic acid is not natural to nature. Then why the fuck is it in our food? It's in there to break us the fuck down. so that we lose our psychology, our mentality. We have narcissists all over the fucking place, raising children, being husbands, being wives, and driving each other fucking crazy on purpose. If you're a narcissist, avoid folic acid to save your family's life, because you don't give a shit about nobody, not even yourself, right? You don't care about yourself if you're a narcissist. But if you have a moment in your time of thinking where you fucking feel something good about somebody, like somebody you love, like your family members, don't ever fucking touch folic acid, or you'll never get no B12 and your brain will never fucking work. This video is going to give you all the data. Pay attention to it real close. And he also makes the very specific statement I make on all the time is, we are nutritionally deficient and this is causing the fucking breakdown. I've been saying this shit for years, but I'm a nobody and a nothing, and I'm so good with that. That keeps me in a safe position to fucking man up, woman up, mankind ourselves up with no fear of losing shit, because it's already been all taken from me. It can be gone again, and I know that my shit is okay. If I already been there, if I already done that, it ain't nothing but another fucking day, right? Ain't nothing but another fucking day, and I build up again. Try to fucking break me. You can't. That's my point. You fucking can't. This fucking system, this life has broken so many of us, and all we can do is bounce back like a fucking spring. It's like the harder the choke, the stronger I fucking get, right? The more pressure fucking put on me, the fucking better I become. I even look better. I recognize that. I look back and I'm like, oh shit, who was I? Who the fuck was I? Because that shit don't look good. I'm better now in my 50s than I was in my 20s because of my awareness. That's what awareness does. It's transformative. Lead the mind and the body will follow. But if our minds aren't right, how the fuck are we gonna do that? So I'm trying to make sure we get our minds right, our testosterone right, our B vitamins right, our D vitamins right, our minerals right. This is a prime basis of our structure and our foundation. We get that shit right and operational, one size fits all, we're gonna make this shit. We're gonna be able to do it. Because we're going to be able to transform ourselves, our families, our units, our households. And that changes our neighborhoods. And that changes our area, our state, our country. Right? And it's going to move these motherfuckers out of control and position that they have. Because we're going to recognize the lie. Will we transform? Well, we can't wait for them to transform us, because that's what they've been doing on a long game. And I'm talking about this other species that's not mankind, that plays to sellouts, and people sell their souls for money and position. These creature kind run their mind, and they will say whatever it takes to maintain their power and their positions, right? I want to talk shit about human right now, but I won't. Stanford University paid puppet. I won't talk about it right now. I'll save that data and that proof later. Because I want to get to this part right here. We got the Tongkat Ali. We went over the folic acid, iodine deficiency. We are lacking in iodine. I went through the experience, turned that shit around in one day. One day, went to the doctors couldn't help me. I fixed it in one day once they told me that it could be a thyroid issue. And Tony Pantalleresco, long back in the day, he said, you got a thyroid issue, you got an iodine issue. You got an iodine issue means you're lacking iodine. This is the iodine I started taking. I showed it to you guys in my silent video I did last week, right? I'm trying to get it focused in there. I get this at Sprouts, and it's iodine with kelp. What I've come to recognize is iodine has to have selenium, and there's selenium in the kelp. not just selenium. Well, look, you need a bunch of minerals, right? It's not just one. But what minerals come, they come like in a seesaw. Always remember, they come in a seesaw. They have to balance each other, right? Copper and zinc balance each other. We got iodine and selenium. They balance each other. Potassium and sodium, they balance each other, and they got to be in, one is a higher proportion and one is a lesser proportion. And this is how this little seesaw works between minerals. Do they all work together? Yes. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying if we have too much iodine, no selenium, we get Hashimoto's problem. Anybody telling us that? No. But look in that direction and you'll find it. The missing factor is selenium. So we've been told that let's get rid of seesaw back in the day, and they started giving us iodine salts, which is table salt made incorrectly on purpose. Instead of potassium sodium ratio, more potassium, less sodium, they did more sodium, less potassium. They added iodine without selenium. Now we could pretend like they didn't know no fucking better. We could pretend. I ain't on that fucking page and I don't entertain that shit. These motherfuckers are masterful at what they do. They've been doing it. Masterful at breaking down species is what I'm saying. You put that fucking combination into people, they're taking all this iodine, they're loaded with iodine, and then they got Hashimoto's because they don't got the balancer, which is the selenium. Because this iodine comes with the kelp, the kelp comes with all the other sea minerals like zinc, right? But specifically the selenium. So this is why this is a good balance. You get it at Sprouts. I put 2 drops. I put 2 drops right on my wrist. I put it like this. Absorb it. I take my minerals that I make. I shake it. I put a full dropper, so about 15 to 20 drops. Put it under my tongue. Boom. I feel a change. You feel a boost within seconds, and it's something you have to feel to recognize. You know what I mean? You put a piece of lemon right underneath your tongue, you get that little electric current running through your body. That means there's been an electrical connection of information that just surged through your body. That is information running through the body and making connections. That's what we want. We want connections. When I say that's what we want, is our connectivity is what we want. We need to connect to nutritional information. Nutritional information is information to the body to then express itself outwardly. It's not just feeling better, it's fucking looking better too. And I'm all about making sure we stay looking young in our old age, because we're not supposed to age, and I'm fucking proving it. I'm doing a pretty fucking good job. I am. I don't say it to be arrogant. I say it so that we can get on this and start rocking it. Because there's nothing worse than knowing so much and then all of your shit hanging and dropped all over the fucking place. Looking old. I already know what it feels like. I've been there, and that shit is fucking depressing all by itself. You could be rich, and that shit will make you fucking depressed if you look old and saggy. Like, no matter all the beauty you have, if you're looking and feeling like shit, that shit actually looking like shit will make you feel like shit. And I'm talking on the real. Ain't nothing wrong with talking on the real. It's not vanity. It's beauty. It's confidence. And it makes you fucking feel good. Let's stop fucking lying. Let's stop pretending. So I'm showing how to do it on the good guys team. Because we got the bad guys team, and then, let me not say bad guys team. The false plastic team. Because these motherfuckers are full of plastic, and they're loading us with plastic on purpose so that we don't recognize, no, we can get younger naturally. I'm proving it. We can repair damaged tissue naturally. Like, I fixed my stomach. I can't wait to show you guys on my Patreon. I can't put none of these stuff publicly right here. I can't even talk about my connection, my information that I get from Michael, so that I can bring it back to you guys, because it's not going to come out. It's dangerous for me. That's what I recognize. It will put me on the map. Right now, nobody knows who I am. I'm unseen, right? I'm unheard, except to the people who follow my page, right? Follow my channel. you guys are getting the information, but this machine don't know nothing because I haven't hit no marks. And me talking like I did last week, I was going to make a mark because I was very hardcore, very strategic, pinpoint facts with the information I came back with. And I'm not supposed to do it like that. Not because I was told this, because that's what I recognize, right? I recognize if the volume went off and I didn't push nothing that has to do with volume, the fuck volume's off, there's things controlling our reality and that help us and we don't recognize. On my Patreon, I'm going to show us how to recognize and how to observe and how to pay attention to sign symbols through music, through license plates, it's through signs. That's communication. It's always been communication, or there'd be no sign language, right? Sound is a signal of communication. Feeling is a signal of communication. It's how we communicate. So we've been told to call it a coincidence, and because it's a coincidence, we're told, I don't believe in coincidences. Well, that's a fucking setup right there. Listen to those words. I don't believe in coincidences. Well, that's some bullshit right there, lining us up to turn away from what's showing us the direction. What's showing us right here is the spot. Pay attention right here. Why? Because the information coincides, and that information tells us something. Because it's so improbable for it to coincide and then repetitively be happening, right? In your face, in my face, in the face of others, and we say, oh, it's just a coincidence. Disregard. That's how we've been in training and indoctrinated to think. That's how much control has been over our lives for so long. And it's time to break that shit. Restructure how we're thinking our operations. Iodine deficiency, I'm going to put a link here. Dr. Westin Childs, he's a DO, which is a osteopathic physician. Like, I didn't even know that existed and shit, right? But I'm going to look for one of these. I'm going to look for one of these. Because they're people who practice medicine, have their licensed medical doctors, so they understand about the drugs that everybody's on. But what they do is they go out of their way to make sure that first we go the natural route, help your body through natural processes, and then if there's no alternative, then we need to go through the medicine route, right? That shit makes sense to me. You know, if something happens to my arm or my leg, I need to go the medicine route ASAP. I didn't do the way medical structure has done it because they've been fixing arms and legs, right? Like a broken piece of your car. We need to fix this ASAP. But for living and lifestyle and preventative health, that's not fixing my arm or my leg. This is a different structure on maintenance, stability, making sure my body has what it needs on a regular. The environment is healthy for me. The food is healthy for me so that it takes care of my temple. And that's just what these DOs, these osteopathic physicians do. That's their structure. They take care of mind, body, and soul. They go for natural first, and then no alternative. They know medicine because they're licensed for it. They're licensed medical physicians. They go that route because there's nothing left. There's no alternative but to go that way. And that's a healthy structure. That's some good shit. So this gentleman talks about, and he helps with thyroid, with the hormone imbalances and weight loss resistance. People who can't lose weight, you know, they're having a hard time because their hormones are all messed up. So he has some really good data. I don't know his vitamins. I don't know his line of supplements that he makes. I haven't even looked into them. I'm looking at his data. When I refer you to somebody, it's not that I'm taking their vitamins. I take mine because I check the shit out of them to make sure that there's nothing to drop my immune system. Nobody notices that's happening to them until they're somebody like me, where I will start bleeding ASAP. I was going to say I was going to do a video for you guys where I eat a piece of bread or a bite of rice so that you can see what happens to my skin. But it takes so long to fix and repair. I got pictures from back in 2019 where it's just all scarred up, right, from the holes. And I have pictures of also the holes. After 2019, I couldn't post anymore because we had the whole coronavirus epidemic. I don't want people thinking I had some kind of, I don't know, deadly coronavirus. Unrelated situations. We have technology in the food supply in our bodies, and it's ripping out through the body, and then we got the whole coronavirus thing. Just no more posting. But I've been able to repair and recover, fixing my diet, not allowing my immune system to drop, and then taking all of these minerals and vitamins that I learned from Tony, and then I started recognizing I'm getting younger. But Tony drops his immune system all the time. He eats beans, which are legumes. He drinks coffee, which is a bean, is a legume. He makes tomato sauce. He eats tomatoes. Tomatoes are high lectin protein in the skin and in the seed because it's a nightshade, right? It's a nightshade. Nightshades are in fruits, which are all your melons. Nightshades are tomatoes, all peppers, meaning chili peppers, right? Including paprika. Eggplants, all potatoes. So I do sweet potatoes. So that's why I show people, I do make my sweet potatoes with rosemary, garlic, and onions, and we enjoy. I say we, meaning my family. We enjoy that. My kids eat the way I eat when they're here. I don't let them substitute when we're eating my food lifestyle. It's the best way I can say it. They do it with their dad, and they eat everything that's out there and available. But they know that when push comes to shove and they have a health issue, they come and they look for their mama, because they can't live my lifestyle. The only people who can live my lifestyle are people who are had enough with the way they've been living. Feeling old, feeling broken, feeling weak. You tired of that shit? I'm going to show you how it's done, right? You start with the AIP diet. You start with the vitamins that I take, that foundation of multi-mineral, B vitamin complex with megadose of B1, D3 with K2 with magnesium glycinate. These things are in my videos, and you look those up in my lives, and it talks about those vitamins and which ones I take. It's going to make a difference. They make a difference because it's our foundation, and it allows us to have the power and the energy to be able to function. On my next live video, I think it's important that I show how I round it up and just line them all up right here on this counter. Because I've been through some, disregarded them, taken them out, and you guys need to know where I'm at currently, right? Where I'm at currently and what I'm taking and why I decided to take some out, right? Why I decided to take some out. I've been able to narrow this down where I can help people who have this MTHFR problem, so that we're taking care of everybody. I'm taking care of everybody in a one shoe fits all. Took me a long time to get down to this, narrow it down like this, but we need to have this so that we know when we're taking it, why we're taking it, and when we do take it, to start recognizing there's a difference. Changing the diet for some of you guys is absolutely necessary. Why is it absolutely necessary? Because no matter what vitamins you're doing, you're still putting back in what's causing the toxicity, and it's affecting you in a mental, in a psychological, in a physical way. Other people like my boss, he don't have no health issues. He don't take no medication, but he takes the supplements I take, and he feels ready to work out now. He feels he don't have no more joint pain. He feels better. The word here is feels. He feels great. Yet he still has his regular commercial American diet, right? But people like me who have an extreme problem, if I change my diet to eating a commercial diet, it'll fuck me up. It'll, to the point it'll kill me. And there's a lot of you guys out there like that with psychological problems. You cannot fuck around. You've got to go on that autoimmune protocol diet. It's absolutely fucking necessary. Okay, no vitamins can help you because you're affected immediately by one bite of rice, one bite of oats. The oats, rice, are the grains, are nightshade grains. The nightshade family of grains is wheat, oats, rice, corn, soy, which is soybean, right? Sugar cane, barley, rye. So we eat it, and we don't recognize that we're not eating it like our great grandparents used to make it. So because we're not eating it the way they prepared it, where they would kill that high lectin protein and then we would eat it, and also we're not paying attention that we have technology being put into our food they didn't have to deal with to break down their system. So the level of toxicity we got is off the fucking chain. It's off the chart. So our combativeness, the way we got to combat this, all depends on you and how bad you want this, right? How bad you want this, how bad you want to get better, feel better, look better, do better. Because it matters, our mentality. The last book I'm going to leave you right here is a very important book. Finish up right here. Dr. Longsdale, Derick Longsdale. This man was a pediatrician and researcher. He's a #1 man, to-go man for the research and data on megadosing B1 and why it's so necessary in this, what we have today is called like a high calorie, I wrote it down because I forget what it's called. It's a high calorie malnutrition. That's the exact name for it. High calorie malnutrition, meaning we ain't getting the nutrients we need, even though we're getting all these calories. We got all this food, but we ain't getting nutrients. So it's causing deficiency. It's causing a defect because we're lacking nutrients, no matter how much we're eating, because it's not in the soil. Foods are being genetically rearranged to accept poisons and not die so they can get to market. Then we eat that and then it fucking mutates us. I mean, this is what we're dealing with, right? And so this high calorie malnutrition causes disease-like symptoms. And it looks like we have a disease, but he's saying, no. You're lacking B1. Take a mega dose of B1. Here's the data, the science, the information. I got a big fucking thick book for you to check it out. Right? This is what he's saying in my words. So he has a book that's thiamine deficiency diseases, dysautonomia, and high calorie malnutrition. Now, why does this shit matter? Because this man, Dr. Derick Longsdale, has data from the 1930s and before. Why does that matter? Because AI, Google, this mentality, this artificial intelligence mentality that creates this creature kind that is changing us into these fucking creature kind, right? Eat your own children kind, right? Rape your own children. It's distorting us. It's satanic. It's sadistic in its behavior. And it's turning our peoples into that shit. We see it coming down the fucking road. It's already here. His research that he has is in a book and it's on lock. When I go and I look up stuff, I notice that the AI now is telling me information. I take a screenshot and then I'll put in the same research in the bar and I'll get different information, different than the last picture I took. And I compared that. That means I don't have the same information. If I tell you to look something up, you ain't gonna find what I found because it fucking changes within a week. That's what I caught. We need these books. We need to hold on to these books because it's the future. And if we don't hold on to these books, we don't have a future. Because we're not, we barely know how we're fucking built up right now. We lose these books. This AI is going to make sure we never fucking know nothing. We know just enough to make us think we know something. So what Dr. Derick Longsdale, what he specialized in is looking for the certain nutrients, which is this B1, megadosing in B1. Not all megadosing in all vitamins, just specific, right? Very specific about which vitamins to megadose in. Preventing disease and psychotic behavior. Preventing, you can look him up and it shows in his bio, preventing disease and psychotic behavior, because that's what we got going on. You put folic acid in there, in the mix, you got more psychotic behavior. So not only are they taking out nutrients from the soil that's not in the food when we eat it, right? So we're eating high calories, no nutrients. We have dysfunction in our operations. They are adding shit like folic acid to make sure that we go on fucking flip mode, right? You got your ADHD kids, you got, everybody's on fucking crazy, and we're being made this way. If 40 to 50% of the population has this mutated gene, motherfuckers calling it mutated, like saying, I got a fucking problem, you got a problem. No, motherfucker, there is a problem, and you're putting it on me and my family. I got a fucking problem with that. That's how it needs to be looked at, but that's not how the jargon for the narrative is being pushed, so that we all think that we got the problem. And then we got to go find a cure for the mutation that we were born with. You feeling me? We don't have a fucking mutated gene. And that's all you're going to hear repetitively in the jargon, the medical jargon. Is how they communicate, because it's how we understand, because nobody wants to fall out of line and say, hold up here, hold up, wait a minute. If folic acid is not natural to nature, how the fuck I got a mutated gene? How are you going to title it like that? Let's switch up the title. Let's switch up the name. So it doesn't take our mind to, I have a mutation. There's something wrong with me. That'll fuck us up. And it has been fucking us up. And I'm here to erase that shit, to show that we got to correct this. We got to correct our language. So I'm going to put Dr. Longsdale's research study. If you can get it, get it. I'm going to get it just to have it. Because that data is showing that if we don't have enough of B1 and we eat carbohydrates and we're not breaking down those carbohydrates turn into toxicity. And that's what we got, psychosis. It's, the math is simple, but made to be complex on purpose, so that we think there's no solution and we think there's something wrong with us, right? And that way we break down ourselves, and we got to build ourselves back up. I think I've gone past my hour. I don't even know what time it is. Yeah, I went past my hour. Hey, Chuck with the pink hand. When that pink hand is there, it's the first one I see. Somebody said, hey, babe, I don't know who you are. Mr. CE, looking good. Thank you very much. Thumbs up to you. And the other one is the Russian guy. I think that's Russian, right? I can't tell, but I think it's Russian. But hi to everybody. All right, you guys. So that's what we got. Expect that it helped. I expect that it helped. Until the next time, this is Michelle Angelique, spiritual boxer, truth and integrity warrior. You know, fighting in the spirit is what's going on right here. We're fighting in the spirit. Till the next time, be well.